Today we are in Arizona at the Komatsu's Proving Grounds. Franco and I are tasked to, well, enjoy driving some of the massive trucks that Komatsu have to offer. I mean, we're running at 1,000 horsepower and that feels quick. I imagine 4,400 horsepower doesn't feel that quick. If Komatsu allow me, I'll go full throttle and see what kind of speeds we can reach.
When I was a kid, with them, with the little ones, and my dream was to jump and be able to drive one of them, you know, when I was at the very young age, 5 years old, 6. So now to finally, you know, achieve that dream that I had since a little kid, it's very exciting, and I am happy to be here. We are here in the Komatsu Proving Grounds in Arizona. You know, we are very competitive, and that's why we are racing in Formula 1. Yeah, I hope we can all enjoy the day together. It's gonna be, I think, a very nice experience and a very nice way to warm up for the race in Austin. So yeah, I can't wait to jump in one of those tracks and have a feel. Wow, how much it weighs?
It weighs a lot. It's two
Look, we got it right to the
You're
middle.
you're like in the middle of the tire.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one way now to find out who's quickest. Let's do a time run. Right, that out. That's back. Probably, yeah. Okay. This is where it all breaks loose.
See, now the pressure's on. Now you're being timed. That's terrible.
I did notice you knocked over a cone, Franco. I saw it over the window of my eyes, so that's at least a 15-second penalty. I don't think you're as quick as me.
Where is the first cone?
First cone's right.
Yeah.
The cone right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it. Ah, I see it. I'm gonna go over. Boom.
I barely kissed it.
Just a kiss. It gets heavy, the steering.
Yeah.
I'd say there's a few things that are just odd. First, the size. I think that going up a flight of stairs to get into your cockpit is very different to what I'm used to. Normally for us, you know, we're used to sitting on the ground and our bums are hovering across the surface, and here we were totally the opposite of that. You look in your rearview mirrors, you can't actually see. We tried to go navigate around cones, and the cones are these tiny little dots in your rearview mirror. That's very uncommon. I really struggled with the excavator and your brain kind of just trying to understand the functions. I mean, when you see the pros do it, our coaches who showed us today, they were amazing and so natural. It was like an arm for them, a third arm, whereas to me, it definitely wasn't that. So that was the most challenging thing from today.
Yep.
But also learning about how all this technology that you're doing, where it's operating machines back at base, that seems like it's very interesting, very exciting. I wouldn't want F1 to go down that way because that would get me out of a job. But it's still a great concept. And I want to feel the speed of the car, so maybe it's slightly different in that way. And I have a lot of respect for everyone in this industry, but if I had to be, I don't think I'm any good at the digging, so I'd have to stay with the transporting with these machines behind me.
Good, it was great. It was an amazing experience. So just special thanks to Komatsu, to Williams for making it possible. It was, to be honest, one of my dreams when I was very little, when I was very young. To drive one of these big machines. I used to have the very small ones, the mini ones, and I used to play with them all the time. And today to have driven one of those and to get that experience, it was very special. It's something very different, of course, to what we are used to, but it was, I think, a very different and unique experience that is very difficult to get. So just, you know, I am very grateful and thankful for Komatsu for this day and for making this possible. Yeah, I had a blast and I really enjoyed the day here in Arizona. It was, everything was very supportive, they were very helpful and very welcoming. So it it was great to be here and get this experience.
No, it was a fantastic day. I think the real highlight for me was the large digger. Was just you really get an understanding for the technology behind these machines, the concepts behind the machines, what it takes to get them really efficient and working well, and brilliant fun. No, that's coincidental. That's just what I would always say with some of the best drivers in the world is they'll have their human traits. And the human traits could be that they like going into detail, or they don't like detail whatsoever at all. They like to be contained in a box, or they don't put them in a box and they'll fight against you. None of those things affect how quick they are on the car on the track, in my experience. So in other words, one's just a human personality type, but it isn't what you're looking for when you employ them necessarily. What you are looking for when you bring a driver in is under an immense amount of pressure, they don't change behaviors. So fundamentally, the human they are out of pressure is exactly the same as when they're in pressure. They don't change or tighten up or do things that are incorrect when they're pressured. And that's really hard to do anything but put them in a real situation and see how they get on fundamentally, or the simulator can replicate that too. The second that you're looking for is making sure that when they're on track, there's often an expression that when they pull the helmet on, it's a very different character that comes out. So that's what I mean by on track. But what you're making sure is that they're not going to leave any prisoners in that circumstance. Their job is to get the most out of themselves in the car and not be beaten by others. And so you're looking for those characteristics. What you see today from the drivers is a completely relaxed individual that's more as the human as themselves. Innovation for me is not a small detailed change. It's when you change the course of the industry you're in or the world by the result of the technology you bring to the table. And I can see that all around us. Behind me as well, there's autonomous technology that was working on at the same time as I was on the dirt today. So that's a shared value. The same goes in the pride and quality that you have in your products. This is exactly the same as we have in ours as well. Every single operator I spoke to, and I got some real one-on-one time where you could break through the barriers and actually understand what makes them tick. Every single one loved working here. There's not one that had anything bad to say about Komatsu. Eventually you can break down the microphones. They loved it. And for many of them, they can see that this is a company that wants what they want as well, which is basically continued development of both them as an individual and of the product line as well. Test and move things forward. Don't be happy with where you are. Expect more and push yourself more as a result of it. And all of that came through. Same with the pursuit of safety and quality. I'll put safety in there because every single one did it in a good way. There's a really bad way of putting safety across, and there's a very good way of doing it where it's a positive momentum drive, and everyone had that behind them as well. Also because they let me do everything I wanted to in the digger. So, everything there.